Hello, students. So far in this chapter, Mr. Toad's adventure, we read how Mr. Toad landed in trouble for first stealing the car, and after that, driving it recklessly on the road. And when a policeman approached Mr. Toad and asked for his license, Mr. Toad replied that I don't need any license. I mean to say that he just cheeked the policeman, disrespected the policeman. So what happened next moment when he when Mr. Toad just refused to show the license because he hadn't any, and he also cheeked the policeman, disrespected the policeman. Next moment, what we see, the next moment we see Mr. Toad was seen standing in the court of law. He was found guilty of stealing a car, driving dangerously, and cheeking the police. So in the next moment, okay, after the traffic policeman approached the Mr. Toad and caught him and asked him about the license, which Mr. Toad hadn't. So, Mr. Toad, what we see after that, Mr. Toad had been taken to the court of the law and had been charged for stealing the car and driving the car very dangerously on the road. Okay, so, Mr. Clerk, will you tell us what's very stiffest penalty for such kind of offense? Asked the chairman. So, in the court of the law, the chairman asked Mr. Clerk, okay, the clerk who was there staying, okay, the chairman in the court of the law asks Mr. Clerk that can you tell me what is the stiffest penalty for such kind of offense? Okay, first all of I can say offense. What's offense? Offense means a crime. Okay, which crime? That the Mr. Toad had done the crime of stealing the car and after that furiously driving it on the road. Okay, so the chairman tells asks Mr. Clerk that tell me the what is the stiffest penalty for this very crime? Stiffest means powerful. Penalty means act of punishing. Like I'm showing you that stiffest. You can take a screenshot of it. Stiffest means powerful. Kadi. Stiffest kadi. Penalty means saza. Kadi saza. So stiffest is powerful. Penalty is act of punishing or pay the dues for doing some damage. Okay, so penalty means act of punishing or paying the dues for any damage done. Okay, so now chairman tells the clerk that tell me what's the stiffest penalty for such a crime? Now the clerk starts scratching his nose. Okay, clerk scratched his nose with his pen. So he started scratching his nose with his pen. I mean, say thinking about what is the possible okay stiffest penalty for such crime that could be given to Mr. Toad. Some people would consider, he observed, that stealing the motor car was the worst offense, and so it is. So first of all, this Mr. Clerk says that so I tell you that first of all, some people, I would like to say, who says Mr. Clerk, he says that some people would consider that the stealing the motor car was was the worst offense, and so it is. Okay, this is the worst crime. Okay, this is the most dangerous crime that anybody could do. But driving dangerously and cheating the police undoubtedly carry the severest penalty, and so they ought. Supposing you were to say 12 months for the theft, which is mild. Okay, so after that, uh, uh, going on, Mr. Clerk says that now driving dangerously and cheeking or disrespecting the police undoubtedly carry the severest penalty, and so they are. So he says that Mr. Clerk says that now, first of all, he has done the most heinous crime of stealing the car. After that, another most dangerous act he did was disrespecting, cheeking, disrespecting the policeman, and which is the severest, which carries the severest penalty. Okay, supposing you were to say 12 months for the theft, which is mild, and 4 years for the furious driving, which is lenient, and 15 years for the cheek, which is pretty bad sort of cheek. Okay, now we see that troubles after troubles for Mr. Toad. Exactly, because supposing that you were to say 12 months for the theft. Okay, so Mr. Clerk says that if you say, sir chairman sir, if you say that 12 months for the theft means 1 year penalty is for the theft of the car, which is which is a small penalty. After that there is 4 years penalty in the law for one who drives furiously, okay, one who drives recklessly on the road, okay, which is lenient. And 15 years for cheek, 15 years penalty. Oh my god, that's a much big penalty. So 15 years, not a joke, 15 years, okay, for the cheek, that is 15 years to be put in the jail to that very person who disrespects any policeman on duty, which is a pretty bad sort of cheek. And this disrespect done by Mr. Toad was a first disrespect done by any person. Okay, so my dear students, here I want to tell you that now according to law, first of all, 12 months, or I can sum it as 1 year for the theft. That is first, penalty number one for this Mr. Toad is 1 year jail. Okay, after that, which is small according to them, okay, after that 4 years for furious driving, means 1 year for theft. After that, plus, okay, 4 years for furious driving. Mr. Toad was driving recklessly, so 4 years penalty for that. So 4 plus 1, that's 5 years, which is a lenient, which is small. And 15 years for the cheek. Okay, unbelievable. 15 years for cheek, 15 years for disrespect, for that very person who disrespects any traffic policeman on duty. Oh my god, Mr. Toad is going to land in the very big trouble. So 15 plus 4, that's 19, and 19 plus 1, that's calculated 20 years. Mr. Toad's life is going to be worse now. Those figures, if added together, correctly tot up to 20 years. Okay, so dear students, if you ever drive a car, drive it carefully, okay, so that you may not land in trouble. Now these figures, if we add, they correctly add up to the 20 years rightly. Okay, so I am going to think that Mr. Toad might be sentenced for 20 years jail. Now, an excellent suggestion, said the chairman. Chairman said, excellent suggestion, very nice suggestion, very nice idea. Approvingly. Approvingly means he might have nodded his head. Yes, okay, that's a fine penalty for Mr. Toad for doing such a heinous crime. Prisoner, it's going to be 20 years for you this time. Okay, so now here it's come this apostrophe beginning. Okay, so now the chairman tells to the prisoner. Who is the prisoner? It's none other than Mr. Toad. Okay, I can say poor Toad, poor Toad. Okay, poor Toad. Prisoner, or I can say another name, poor Toad. It's going to be 20 years to you this time. So this time you're going to go in the jail for 20 years. And mind, if you appear before us again upon any charge, and mind and remember, if you came towards to us for any other charge, if there is another charge leveled against you, whatever, we shall have to deal with you very seriously. Oh my god, this was less burden that now he is going to okay, the problems are going to add for Mr. Toad. So so the chairman tells him that, mind this thing, that during this tenure of 20 years, oh my god, in the jail, if there is any sort of another charge leveled against you, we will deal against you very seriously. Okay, this has been told to Mr. Poor Toad. Okay, sorry, my dear students, we will start tomorrow in the next lecture after that. Okay, thank you, have a fine day ahead.